The title of this video is going to be Progress Over Perfection or something like that. The reason I wanted to talk about this today is because there's just a couple things kind of coming from my heart. I had a moment at work the other day where a woman was confiding into me about how her adult children and teenage children really give her a hard time because she only ever finishes everything to about 80%. She gave me the example of they painted the whole living room, and all she had left to do was finish the little trim, just that little inch up at the very top by the ceiling, but she just couldn't bring herself to do it. While I could very much relate to this, I wanted to be as comforting as I could. And haven't your kids ever heard of progress over perfection? And she was like, no. I first heard that phrase from Kimmy at She's in Her Apron quite a few years back, and it really resonated with me back then up until now, and well, it still does. But it's just kind of hung on me through the whole weekend because it's really had me thinking about several things in my life that I feel like have kind of been holding me back a little. And it's here I was showing, this compassion to someone else, being like, hey, you're doing a great job. You're getting stuff done. You're getting the most done. And that's better than not doing anything because it isn't perfect. And I'm like, okay, Shannon, this message is clearly for you as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is look at this. I have now gotten an official Shannon Talks Yarn studio space. That sounds much fancier for saying we took the bed out of the guest room, but that's what we did. It is in progress still. I have got this corner of it done, and I wanted to share that with you. I'm very excited about it. Not everything is perfect on the other side, and I still have work to do. I also don't have my lighting set up quite right. I don't know if this is really dark here because it's so bright there. You may know that I film on my phone, and I always use the front-facing camera, not the selfie camera, because it just gives a much better quality. But guess what I'm using today? I'm using the selfie side because I just wanted to make sure everything was lined up in the shot and it was how I wanted it. So I do apologize if my eyes aren't in the right spot, because I honestly think it's much harder to film with the selfie side than it is the rear facing or front face. What is it? Rear facing? The back side of the phone. But I'm very excited about moving forward. So this is something after we had our last batch of house guests, and we really got to talking about how often we do have people staying over and needing this bedroom, and how I need it actually quite a lot for what I'm doing. And we've kind of decided that it's also a good time to really try to improve the quality of my sound, the quality of my lighting. So we're going to be working on that stuff as well. And I'm really, really excited to be moving forward with this and definitely sharing with you a room tour once I get it done. But I've got a lot done. I've made a lot of progress in a weekend. So I guess that's 1 and 2 things right there. So the third thing I want to talk about is something that stops me all of the time. And I know I definitely suffer from, I think they call it black and white thinking. If I can't do A, then I might as well not do B, if that makes sense. If this can't be done perfectly, then I might as well not even do these small things. So that is something that I am definitely working on. I have been talking with a couple women in my town, and I want to give doing a market a try. So there will be one in the town that I work in November, beginning of November. I had watched tons and tons of videos prior to this from Ashley over at A Crafty Concept. She helps people sell finished objects, finished crocheted pieces. And she's so good at that, and she has such great idea, and I consider her a total expert on that. And it's I've been holding myself back in that regard because I'm I can't do this the way that she suggested. I can't, it's just going to be a small portion of my business, but I still want to do it right. I still want to do it correctly, and I want to do it the most professional I can. But it's been tough for me because all of these things in my head that she said to do and not to do are sticking in there, and it's been very difficult for me to think, okay, this doesn't have to be perfect. it just doesn't. You just got to do it. And that is so hard for me. So what my plan is, and I will do a more in-depth video on like maybe more of like a vlog from start to finish, like a couple month long vlog. You know what I'm saying? Like wrap a couple months into one video, just kind of from start to finish of where I'm starting with that and what I'm doing. I mean, I'll kind of break it down. I've decided that I just want to do wearables. There are women who at this particular market sell crocheted like washcloths and dishcloths. They do very great with like the kitchen items. There is also a couple women who do amigurumi. I'm not passionate about either one of those. I don't really like amigurumi, and I like making wearables. So, you know, my mind is going and I'm like, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that, and I have to have this color scheme, and you know, it has to look like a cohesive brand and not look like a garage sale full of random stuff. And you know, my mind is just going, and I'm like, I gotta slow down and just think about this for a minute. So I am gonna start out with just doing one pattern. So this will be November, kind of like a pre-holiday season shopping type of thing. So I have really fallen in love with the virus shawl. I think that it looks much more high-end than it is. I think that it's easier, you know, than it appears to be. And I can make a couple different versions based on yarn I already have in my stash, and they'll be priced based on like the size of it and the fiber content. So I know I want to have like some larger, big boho, like shawligan type of size. And then I want some that would be more of like triangle scarf size. And I have been working on doing like a head handkerchief size as well. I don't know if I will end up having that in there or not, but I felt like that would give me a good start. And what I decided to do, instead of having brand colors and all this stuff that is great, but I just don't have the mental energy to do right now, is I'm going to go through my yarn stash and I'm going to start pulling out all yarns that coordinate. So different fibers, you know, different weights, but they're all going to coordinate. And I think that I am going to, for this first one anyway, go with pretty darn neutral colors, like a pretty neutral color palette for it, because, you know, generally neutrals are neutral. That's why they're neutral. And I might be able to, and I just think that for the first time out of the gate, it will help me look more cohesive and help my little booth area look cohesive. And I just have to know, like, this isn't going to be perfect. It's not how I want it to be. If I had unlimited budget and unlimited time, it would be different. But I've got to move forward. I've got two other updates real quick I want to talk about. This next one is going to be the fact that I am going to be like dropping some patterns. They're for sunflower granny squares, and I am going to be debuting the products on Saturday. I'm not sure what day it is. I will put it up down here on the screen. But Cydney and I have our normal monthly live, and it's going to be all about sunflowers and just like some fun stuff, some fun happenings, and I'm going to share those on there. And again, that's something where I know I am not perfect at writing patterns, and I am definitely not perfect at tutorials. I still need work in that department, but I'm going to film it and it's going to be out in a week. So get ready for that. And along that same lines, in my monthly email that I put out to my email subscribers, I did let them know firsthand that I am going to be starting a quarterly digital magazine. So I am super excited about this. It's going to be totally free. It's going to be pretty simple in the beginning. So maybe as time goes on and if I get more subscribers, we'll have like real ads, but there's not going to be any ads. It's going to be just like a lot of inspiration and project ideas and stuff like that from me. And, you know, maybe if I have a few guest authors on there too. So that is something where, you know, would I love it to be something super big and professional and be able to like flip through and use one of those like magazine hosting websites? Yes, but guess what? Those are expensive. I looked into it. So I'm going to be starting this out on a much smaller budget, and it's going to be a downloadable PDF that you can look through and scroll through. So you'll be scrolling up instead of flipping sideways, and I'm going to be okay with that. It's progress over perfection. And if I want to grow this digital magazine, I have to put out an initial edition and really see where it goes from then. So I will have a link in the description box as well if you are interested in getting that magazine. The name of it is going to be Boho Crojo. So it's all about like a boho vibe and crocheting and needlework. I am super excited. Super excited. And the very last thing I want to touch on is, you know, if you have been following me, you will know my yarny BFF Cydney, and her channel is Sweetpea Sids Inspirations, and she has been a huge inspiration for me. She has helped me, get the nerve to try a lot of things that I had not tried before, and I'm so grateful for that. You know, the spinning, I've got my dyeing supplies. I need that push to actually dye some yarn. You know, she has really helped inspire me to do these things, and she is someone that I can go to and be like, you know, I'm having this problem, I want to do this, or like, I have this crazy idea, do you think I'm nuts? Like all of this different stuff. And her and I have been talking and really working on some, just developing different project ideas, and she started her website, and I am so psyched for her. I am going to have a link down below as well for you to check out her website, because she is doing a massive rebrand. And I just want to take a quick minute and acknowledge how scary it can be to completely change up everything you're doing, to feel like you've put effort and all this time and progress into something and be like, you know what? I think I want to pivot. I am so proud of her, and I am so excited for her as she changes things up and goes in a direction that I think is going to be much truer to her heart and just so much more of her personality. And that's something where, again, she had to be like, you know what, I might not do it perfect, but I'm doing it, and it is progress over perfection. And I am so proud of her for that. I've said that like 100 times. I can't help it. We're all in progress. Like, we're all whips. We're all works in progress. And Kate, I know I have got a few people that have been with me here on this channel since the very beginning, and have seen like ups and downs and me being confused about all sorts of like, where do I want this channel to go? And I just want to say thank you, appreciate you. And I appreciate all the people that are brand new and are giving my channel a chance. I have gotten a couple comments lately, and I will be responding to you soon. I've just been really busy trying to work on this space here. It means a lot to me. These comments have said, you know, I just found your channel. I am binge watching old stuff. And part of me is like, cringe. You know, I was like really bad at this or that when, I filmed that. But the reality is I am really grateful for that. And thank you. And that means a lot to me that despite like a lot of things needing work in progress and a lot of things not being perfect, that you are checking it out and you're still with me. You didn't unsubscribe. So if you can, please join me and Sid Saturday morning. It is at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's my time. I would absolutely love it if you would come check out the little teaser of my projects I have coming out and just find out a little more information. And yeah, just get to hang out with Sid and I. We always have fun, and we would love it if you would join. So show up on Saturday and talk some yarn with us. Bye.